I'd been driving Uber long enough to stop expecting anything unusual. Late-night rides blurred together after a while. Close to midnight, most requests came from hospitals or bars, places where people were simply trying to get home. So when a request came in from a hospital, I accepted it without thinking too much. What caught my attention was the fare. It was unusually high for the distance, high enough that I double-checked the screen before accepting. I assumed it was surge pricing or a system error. When I arrived, the hospital entrance was quiet. No one stood by the curb. Just as I was about to cancel, the back door opened and a man got in. He gave the destination. Nothing else. The app showed a route, but no arrival time. The road names meant nothing to me, and the map kept zooming out as we drove, like it didn't want to settle. Trees lined the road so closely, they blocked most of the light. When iron gates appeared ahead, I slowed instinctively. That was when I realized where we were. I stopped just outside the entrance. "I can't drive in there," I said quietly. "That's fine," he replied. "This is where I get down." I parked, my hands still tight on the steering wheel. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then he leaned forward slightly. "You have a good heart," he said. "That's why you'll survive tonight." The words didn't sound like praise. It sounded final. Before I could respond, he added calmly, "Wait for me. I'll need a ride back. I will pay double." My chest tightened. The door opened. He stepped out of the car and walked toward the gate. I watched him pass through it and move between the gravestones, his shape slowly blending into the darkness. I waited 1 second, then another. The silence felt wrong, too heavy, too expectant. I didn't wait any longer. I hit the accelerator and drove off, my heart pounding, checking my mirrors the entire way home. When I finally parked outside my house, I sat there shaking, replaying his words over and over. Not thank you, not drive safe, just that I would survive the night. And the thought that wouldn't leave my mind was this: what would have happened if I had waited? I don't remember deciding to leave the party. I remember standing still in the middle of noise and laughter, suddenly aware that something felt wrong. I had stayed too long and my phone was already acting up. The screen dimmed on its own. Messages took time to send. I checked the battery and felt that small spike of anxiety you get when you realize you've been careless. I looked around for my friends. They were still deep in the night, dancing, drinking, enjoying themselves. I didn't want to interrupt them, and I didn't want to wait. I just wanted to go home. I had already decided not to order an Uber. I'd heard enough stories, and my phone clearly wasn't reliable. I was thinking about sitting back down when he offered to take me home. We had talked most of the night. Nothing intense. Safe. He said he lived close to my area and would drop me off, then head back. I remember weighing my options longer than I should have. In the end, I agreed. Outside, the air felt colder than expected. As we walked toward his car, someone called his name. A woman stood near the parking lot, half lit by a flickering streetlight. They spoke briefly. Too briefly for people who seemed familiar. When he came back to me, he said she was heading in the same direction. A former colleague. I didn't question it. If anything, I felt relieved. We got into the car. The doors closed with a heavy sound that lingered longer than it should have. The engine started. No music, no small talk. The woman sat behind me. I noticed she didn't fasten her seatbelt. We drove for a while without speaking. The city thinned out quickly. Lights became sparse. The road stretched to clean, too empty. I checked the time on my phone. The screen froze, then corrected itself. I asked a simple question, something meaningless. He answered politely, but his tone felt rehearsed, like he was responding out of habit. When I glanced at the rearview mirror, I caught her eyes already on me. Not curious, not aggressive. Assessing. I looked away. Minutes passed. The road curved in a way I didn't recognize. "This doesn't look familiar," I said. He nodded, but didn't explain. I leaned forward slightly to check the dashboard. The navigation screen was dark. I reached for my phone again. No service. The battery icon blinked, then stabilized at a number that didn't feel accurate. Behind me, the woman shifted. Not closer, but enough for me to hear her breathe. "I don't think she should be here," she said. Her voice was calm, almost bored. I turned around slowly. Her face was ordinary in the way mannequins are ordinary. Everything was in the right place. It just didn't belong to a living expression. She wasn't part of the plan, the woman continued. I asked him to stop the car. He didn't react. The door locks clicked softly, like a reminder. I started crying without meaning to. It didn't feel emotional. It felt physical, like my body was reacting before my mind caught up. She came on her own, the woman said. That happens sometimes. The car slowed. We weren't in a place I recognized. No house, no signs, just road and dark. He finally looked at me, not with anger, not with guilt, with detachment. You can go now, he said. The lock released. I didn't hesitate. I stumbled out of the car. I fell hard onto the pavement. By the time I turned around, the car was already pulling away. No brake lights, no sound, just gone. Luckily, I had my shawl, so I threw it on. I stayed where I was until another driver stopped and helped me. When I got home, the night felt unreal, like it had happened to someone else. The next morning, I checked my phone. No messages, no photos, no record. I tried to remember the woman's face, but I couldn't. But there was one thing I couldn't explain. I don't remember hearing her door open when she got into the car. And at 3:17 a.m., my phone recorded a call from an unknown number. No voicemail, just a timestamp. When I checked my call history again later that day, it was gone. I grew up in a religious home. Demons, angels, judgment, those stories were everywhere. By the time I became an adult, I stopped believing any of it mattered. That changed the night I picked up my last passenger. I drive Ubers on weekends. That night was no different. At least at first, it was just before 2 a.m. when I accepted one final request outside a popular nightclub. The man opened the front passenger door and sat beside me. That immediately made me uncomfortable. His name on the app was Marcus. He was overdressed for the club scene. Dark coat, clean shoes, not a wrinkle on him. He looked young, maybe early 30s, tall, and strangely composed. Not drunk, not loud, just observant. The ride was long, nearly half an hour, but it was close to my route home. I tried to make small talk, but he just smiled lightly. I was hoping for something more. There was something about his voice, calm, reassuring, almost parental. He asked how my night had been. Quiet, I said, holding up my wedding ring. Married a long time. Life's steady. He didn't respond right away. Then he asked, is that before or after the woman you met during that argument about money? My grip tightened on the wheel. I think you've got the wrong person, I said, turning the music up. You argued after your wife lost her job. He continued calmly. You stayed out late. You justified it. I told myself he was guessing, that it was a coincidence. Would it destroy you if she knew everything? He asked. There's nothing to know, I said, sharply. He nodded and said, she already knows. She chose to stay. I slammed the brakes at a red light. Who are you, and what do you want? He adjusted his seat, almost annoyed. I don't want anything, he said. I'm offering you something. He told me he made arrangements with people, not for their souls, for their choices. He said, people commit their worst acts because they believe consequences matter. I removed that burden, he said. I laughed nervously and asked to be let out of the conversation. He handed me a dark card before exiting at a quiet roadside diner. If you keep it, he said, you agree. I drove home, shaken and convinced I'd imagined the whole thing. I never threw the card away. The next year unraveled me. I made decisions I couldn't justify. Someone died because of my carelessness. I drank too much. I destroyed my marriage. One night, standing outside a motel, I heard his voice again. Remarkable progress, he said pleasantly. He stood under a flickering light, unchanged. He listed everything I'd done, calmly, accurately. What are you? I whispered. My name isn't Marcus, he replied. Call me Valsaren. His eyes weren't glowing or monstrous, just empty, like nothing was behind them. He said I could choose 3 rewards or let him decide payment himself. Terrified, I blurted out the first things I could think of. Money, protection, health. He smiled. I woke up in my bed. The man who died never existed. The investigation never happened. My addictions were gone. A bank account appeared in my name later that day. Millions. I stopped getting sick, stopped getting injured. Every year, Balseran returned. He erased what I'd done, then rewarded me. Decades passed. I stopped aging. My wife grew old. Then she died. I didn't cry. That's when I understood what he had truly taken. Not my sins, my ability to feel consequences. Without consequence, nothing means anything. Right and wrong disappear. I'm over 100 years old now, and I'm tired. Never accept an offer that removes accountability, because demons don't take what you offer. They take what makes you human.